Linzi.
Good morning, everyone. I'm so happy you tuned in today and welcome back to Wellness Wednesday. My name is Dr. Linzi and I am a naturopathic doctor right here in Iron River. I specialize in helping people restore their health and revitalize their life. And always a little disclaimer, anything we talk about is for the purpose of general health support, not intended to treat or cure disease. We're just here to talk about supporting overall physiology and wellness. Always consult with your own primary care before making any changes. And so last time we talked about beginning with the end in mind, right? And the importance to have a plan and an exit strategy for anything you're doing, especially when it comes to your health and your weight loss, right? Um, and so this is especially true with the exploding use of GLP-1s and peptides. So definitely check out that episode. If you missed it, you can go to Dr. Linzi ND on YouTube and check out any of the recordings. Because if you're not on a GLP-1 yourself, I guarantee you probably know 5 people who are on one, and they need to hear this message. So you check it out, you share it, so people can be on the same page with that. And today is a special one, you guys, because honestly, it was really emotional for me to share this, because this was one of those moments last week that reminds me exactly why I do what I do. And so I had a patient come in last week. She couldn't wait to tell me something. And as she's telling me, the tears start flowing. And before you know it, my tears were flowing too. And not because something was wrong, but because something went so right. And I want to share this with you because I truly believe that it might change how you see your own journey. And we all need inspiration and encouragement in this crazy world. And so her story. So 3 years ago, okay, she went somewhere with her daughter. And you can go on Facebook because I actually have some pictures. She shared pictures with me and gave me permission to share because I feel it's so inspiring and so motivating and encouraging to other women, men too, but just so encouraging because so you can go to Linzi Saigh-Larsen on Facebook and check it out. But okay, so 3 years ago she went with her daughter and there was this rock wall and she decided to try it and she couldn't do it. Not because she didn't want to, not because she didn't try, but because her body wasn't capable at the time. And I want you to really picture that moment. Your child is watching you, you want to show up, you want to be strong, you want to be able to do it, but you literally feel limited in your own body. And that moment really stuck with her. And many people have a version of that moment where it hits you and you're like, you know what? I'm done. This is not how I want to feel. This is not how I want to live my life. She's still so young. And to not be able to do the things that she wants to do to show her daughter what it looks like to be vibrant and healthy and be able to do the things you want to do. So the shift that happened, you guys, this is what's so powerful. She didn't go home and say, okay, I need another diet or I need to go on a diet. She made a decision. I am going to change my life. Not overnight, not perfectly, but consistently. And that is key, you guys. So often we don't just need another diet. We don't need the next best peptide, the newest out there is a triple GLP whatever. Like you don't need that. Can that be a tool? Sure, but you need to make a decision to actually change your life. And so she started focusing on the things that really matter. We focused on real nourishing food, moving her body, building daily habits, learning instead of quitting, and creating the conditions for health. Something you guys hear me talk about all the time, right? The quote I say, or the phrasing I say the most on WIKB, creating the conditions for health. We worked on creating those conditions for health in her life. And this is the part I want everyone listening to hear, because this is where most people get stuck. It's not a lack of information. We are in the information age. You can Google anything, you can find anything. It is not a lack of information. It is a behavior gap. People will look at someone like her and say, oh, wow, she lost 90 pounds. But that's not what I see. I see consistency when it wasn't convenient, persistent when it felt slow or things, quote, plateaued. Note, if you're working on your health, truly working on your health, your body's never plateauing. It's always doing things under the scenes, or behind the scenes. But this maybe things felt slow with the scale, but being persistent, and a willingness to learn and a willingness to change, because those are the two things that are required for success, you guys. And I talked about that a couple weeks ago. The things that determine success: a willingness to learn and a willingness to change. Not perfection, not extremes, just showing up again and again. And she did that. Even when it was hard, even when it felt slow, even if it wasn't exciting anymore. And that's a big thing. A lot of us get bored. And creating those conditions for health, doing the standard habits, we get bored. But that's where you're going to change things. You got to keep going. So the result, what is the result? Fast forward 3 years to this month, she was in the same type of environment, the same type of rock wall, her same daughter by her side. You can see it in the photo, but a completely different woman. This time, she climbed that rock wall, you guys. And she told me the story in my office. Tears were flowing. And I was even doing kicks. I was so excited. It was just so exciting because you see, it wasn't about the weight or even the rock wall. It was about everything that moment represented. Oh, I'm going to get a little emotional because it was about her showing up for her daughter, proving to herself what she was capable of, becoming someone she could feel proud of. And that is so beautiful, because the truth that most people miss is they may say, oh, it's just weight, or it's all about the weight or the number on the scale, but it's not. It's about missing out on those moments, feeling held back in your body, not showing up how you want to for your family. And when that changes, that's literally when everything changes. So the lesson is that it's not about the scale. Weight loss is the side effect, not the goal. What this is really about is energy, confidence, vitality, capability, presence, strength, longevity. It's about becoming the best version of yourself. Who do you have to become to overcome your challenges and to reach your goals? Who do you have to become? Who did she have to become to climb a rock wall? Because she didn't just lose 90 pounds, which is amazing, but she didn't just lose 90 pounds. She became the woman who could climb the wall. She became someone who shows up, someone who follows through, someone her daughter now models. And that, you guys, is identity change. And that is what creates lasting results. And that is true transformation. And that is exactly what I teach my patients. We don't chase quick fixes. Yeah, I'll use different tools, but we're not doing quick fixes over here. We're building a system for health with real food, movement, habits, accountability, nervous system support, guidance, because when the system is right, the results will follow. And you have amazing transformations like that. And isn't that so exciting, Jim?
Yeah, it's always amazing when somebody finally just gets to the point they're like, it's got to change.
Yep.
That self-realization.
Yes. And my concern going on right now, out and about and in the world, is that people are getting to that point, but they're seeing something out there that could potentially be in the category of a quick fix, like with these GLP-1s and these things. And I believe they can be used as a tool and can be positive. But if 3 years ago she would have chosen to do something like that, she maybe would have lost some weight, but she wouldn't have transformed her life, the way she eats, the way her kids eat, how they don't get dyes in their food anymore. They focus on protein, fruits and vegetables and real foods, and she's able to teach her children that wouldn't have been part of the picture, because we had to focus on the system of that taking place in her life for her to fully transform.
It is amazing. Actions have consequences.
Yes.
Either way, that you've got to accept. And I think sometimes people don't, I hate to say this, but they don't take responsibility for their mindset
and their actions. And so I would say that's how I said to the two, that is a good one. The two key things I said are a willingness to learn and a willingness to change. But I think the third key one there that you just mentioned is a willingness to take full ownership and responsibility for your life and your choices. That doesn't mean we have to be perfect, right, but we have to own up and we can't make excuses. That is amazing, Jim. And so I want to kind of leave everybody with this. I want to ask you guys out there listening, what is your rock wall?
Exactly.
What is your rock wall? Hers, that was the thing.
Metaphysically and
Yes.
emotionally and
All of it.
spiritually, yes, it was. It was. If you conquer me, I'm gonna lose. But if I conquer you, I'm the winner.
Yes, absolutely. And she totally won. And so I feel like to think about when you guys are listening right now, what's the thing in your life that feels so hard or impossible? Or maybe like, it's just never going to happen for me. Some people have been overweight for so much of their life or most of their life, they just think that's not going to happen for me. And that was this patient's story. She was overweight for the majority of her life. And she's healthy now. And it's not about the number on the scale, but she feels vibrant and energetic, right?
It is interesting because when a person does eventually lose all that weight and they go back and they look at their photographs, they remember themselves that way. But then when they look at the mirror, they sometimes, it's happened to me.
Yeah.
Who is that person in the mirror? That is a totally different person than that photograph.
Right.
And then there's weird things like I would put a belt on now. I would put a belt on and it would hit the floor. Now I put a belt on, it does not hit the floor. There's just little realizations like that it's an accomplishment.
Yes, and something to be so proud of.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's amazing. I'm so happy for you. Like when you have those moments of like, you know what? I did it.
Yeah.
I made the change. I changed the trajectory of my life and my family's life because you are a part of your family's life. So when your trajectory changes, their trajectory changes, right? Can I get an amen?
Amen. Preach on.
Right? Because I promise you guys, if you're going through something that feels hard or impossible, or like maybe it's just not for me, I can't achieve that. It's not permanent. And 3 years from now, heck, 90 days from now, I'm working with patients and changing their life. Your life could be completely different if you make the choice, but it starts with a decision, a willingness to learn, a willingness to change, and like Jim brought up, a willingness to take extreme ownership for all of your actions and your choices. And if you're sitting there and thinking, you know what, I don't even know where to start, or I've tried it all and I just keep falling off, I can't make anything stick, this is exactly why I do what I do. You don't have to do this alone. You're not meant to do this alone. If you're ready to start your transformation, I want you guys to reach out. You can email, text, or message me on Facebook the word climb, with the theme for the rock wall, right? And so if you go to Facebook, if you go to Linzi Saigh-Larsen, so that's Linzi Saigh-Larsen, make sure you follow me or follow me on there, and then you can send me a direct message and you can put the word climb and we can be in contact. You can also call or text 906-829-0500. You can also email info@drlinzi.com. That's info@drlinzi.com. And you guys, I would follow me on Facebook because I'm always checking in, asking questions, getting like feedback of what people want to know about, and sharing like transformational, motivational, educational, all these things. Because sometimes social media can be so negative, and I'm trying to make it a positive space. So definitely go to Linzi Saigh-Larsen, give me a follow, and be on the radar for all things health. And so I want you guys to know what is possible for you, because it's never just about the scale. It's literally about your life. And so I want to thank you guys for tuning in, and I really hope today's episode and this patient's amazing transformation encourage you to explore new ways to support your health and healing, and help remind you that healing truly is possible. The key thing is this patient, she not only showed up with consistency and was willing to learn and willing to change and willing to take ownership for her actions and her choices. She believed that she could do it. She has this belief in her that she is going to be her ideal weight, and she is going to get there. And even it's been 3 years and she keeps making progress. Do all of us want it to happen overnight? Of course we do, but that's not real life. And because she has done this the right way, this is her. This is her lifestyle. This is her new identity. She's not going to gain that all back because that's not who she is anymore. That's not how she eats. That's not what she does. She is the best version of herself, and her body keeps responding and keeps releasing, which is amazing. So I encourage you guys to make creating the conditions for health a priority in your life. and keep supporting that incredible body of yours, and to trust your body and to trust nature and to trust the incredible wisdom God has built into your design. And if you are ready for the help and the guidance like this amazing patient of mine and to change your life, you know what to do. Call, text, or message on Facebook the word climb, and we'll get the ball rolling.
Hey, Dr. Linzi, one more time. Give them your office location and your telephone number so they can make that call and make that appointment.
Yes. Well, hopefully we don't get flooded with the rain coming, because there is some leaks in the roof. So hopefully we're still there on what's today? On Thursday. When are we supposed to get the rain, Jim?
Almost any time.
Oh, great.
Yeah, they don't know. It's pop-ups.
So hopefully we're not floating away at the top of Stambo Hill there, but it's at the top of Stambo Hill in Iron River, 401 Washington Avenue. And then you can call, text, or email. You can call or text 906-829-0500, and then you can email info@drlinzi.com. It's info@drlinzi.com. You can also check me out on Facebook, Linzi Saigh-Larsen with an EN, right there on Facebook, so we can connect that way.
And who knows, you could be the next